What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range, as you can see back behind me, on another cold, cloudy, windy day out here. It was supposed to get up into the 40s, but it sure don't feel like it because this wind is picked up and howling. It feels like it's below freezing again. But it is wintertime after all, so you get what you get this time of year. I've got a couple more things on the agenda, and for this one right here, we're gonna see just how much silver you need to go snub-nose werewolf hunting. So of course, the jelly contraption set up ready to roll with the chronos and 2 blocks of gel. Now I've done one test so far in this gel. It was a very, very interesting 10 mil test, so I'll leave that up above if y'all hadn't seen that. Heavy clothing barrier, of course, because you know them werewolves, even after they transform, they usually got a little clothes left on them. So we got the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we got here today is a couple of Silvertip rounds. We got the Winchester Silvertip, both of them 38 special. One of them's 110 grain, the other one's 125 grain plus P. Now I have actually tested both of these in the past. This 110 I've tested through my clothing not real long ago. It's done pretty well as far as I can remember in any test I've done with it, even in the shorty barrel. So really nice little 38 round here. As far as this 125 plus P, I've actually tested this, but it was in the Winchester Super X version, so never in this specifically Silvertip packages like this. So be interesting to see if there's any kind of difference. Now here's both your cartridges, and oddly enough, this 110, which I've had for quite a while, it's not nickel plated, the case isn't, and this 125 plus P, which I didn't have any of in this Silvertip box, I literally just had these delivered last week and they're actually nickel plated. Now as far as the ballistics on the box here, they're showing a velocity of 945 from the muzzle from both of these, so a little bit more energy of course on the 125, but the same exact velocities at the muzzle. And then of course, as you can see, what I'm running these out of is my little Taurus 856 with the 2-inch barrel on it. I'm trying to really concentrate on these 38 specials and figure out which rounds are really good from these 2 inches. I've tested several of them in the past, but I need to go back and do some retesting with my new setup so we can nail down a handful of good short barrel 38 special rounds. So this should be a good one. I'm expecting pretty good results from both of these, but let's get this stuff set up and let's find out what they can do. All right, let's see what we're working with here, y'all, and we'll do a 5-round average from each one of them. We'll start with this 110 first. Remember, the box is saying 945. I definitely don't expect to see that out of this snub-nose. Those of y'all not familiar with the channel, like I always try to mention, this lab radar is going to give you multiple velocity readings. Your big number is going to be from your muzzle, and then 5 across the bottom. One of them set for 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here at 10 feet, and then you're going to have 10, 15, 25, and 50. Let's see what this little guy does with the 110s. I can't remember anything about that other test as far as velocity, so this will be a surprise again, I suppose. .902, 879, 882, 866. And 896, so definitely not the 940. Again, I didn't expect to see that, but it seems pretty consistent. Let's check out the average. All right, so our 5-round average on that was 885 feet per second, extreme spread of 36, and a standard deviation of 14.2. So not too bad, really, out of this little 2-inch revolver. Let's get it reset and check out them 125s. All right, let's see what these heavier plus Ps can do, y'all. Remember, they're saying the same velocity, 945, I believe it was. See how close these get compared to those 110s. Don't feel any different. 826, 853, 809, 828, and 794. That one dropped a little bit, but they all seem fairly consistent. Felt about the same as that 110 as far as recoil. Let's check the average. All right, so that time our 5-round average was 822. We had an extreme spread of 60 and a standard deviation of 22.5. So not quite as consistent as that last 110, but still for a 2-inch Taurus revolver, that ain't too terrible, I don't reckon. Now 822 is definitely not what I would consider a plus P load by any means, but it is what it is. that's what we're getting lately. So 822 on this one, and if you remember on that 110, it was 885. So you're talking about 63 feet per second faster with the 110. Now, if you're just talking about weight, yeah, that stands to reason, but this plus P was supposed to be moving that same speed because it's supposed to be spiced up, but obviously it ain't. So with that being said, the 110, I expect it's gonna do well in the gel. I believe it's done well every time. This 125 plus P, I believe it done well too, but I don't think that was through a snub nose, so who knows what's gonna happen there. Let's get this stuff set up. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's full moon jelly time. I'm gonna put one of each into the gel, starting with this 110 first. Again, I expect good stuff from this. I'm pretty sure this is done well every time I've tested it, even through the shorties right here. So let's see what we get. Hopefully it stays in the first block. That's my main concern. All right, hopefully that was a good one. Let me go see what we got. Well, that one there just proved me wrong, y'all. Absolutely no expansion on that thing. It must have just got clogged up, moving too slow. I'm not sure what the speeds have been in the past. I'll have to go back and look. Maybe it's just moving slower this time. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's try this 125 plus P. 38 special is just such a tricky round. It's just inconsistent. It's tricky to get to act right. The chrono didn't even like that one even. It didn't give me a correct reading. So let's see what this 125 plus P does, y'all. All right, let's see what happened down there with that one. I don't expect good things. All right, y'all, unfortunately, more of the same on that one. No surprise, really. I'm gonna sling another 110 in there just because, again, in a couple previous tests I've done, they did well. This one, it didn't. It may just be inconsistent. Y'all know me. Only reason I'm doing this right here is for other people's benefit. In my opinion, a failure is a failure. I mean, how many failures are you okay with before you call it a failure? So anyway, let's see what this 110 does. This is against my better judgment because it's gonna be tricky to get this thing somewhere and not interfere with those other doggone tracks. All right, hopefully that was a good one. Let's go down there and see what we got. All right, let's check this mess out down here, y'all. We got us a big triple fail is what we got down here. We got 3 of them. All 3 of them look perfect here. The middle one right there, that was the first one. That was the first 110. Comes in here, obviously tumbling. That big old disruption area is nothing but tumbling. Keeps on going, and there you see the projectile sitting forward. Absolutely 0 attempt at any kind of expansion. So then I went up above with the 125 plus P. Same story with this. When it comes in here, no expansion, tumbles around right in here, keeps on trucking, sitting here forward again. This one looks like it got maybe an inch more forward momentum here, but again, absolutely 0 expansion from that one either. And then to finish out this trifecta of failure down here, the one on the very bottom, that was the second 110. Same exact story. Comes in here, no expansion at all, big time tumbling in this area, and the same as that first 110. Although it looks like it's maybe 3/4, ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch shorter on the penetration, but absolutely 0 expansion again. So as far as the penetration on this stuff, that first 110, it went to 14¼ inches. The 125 right here went to 15¾ and then the second 110 went to 14¼ So all of them really right within the same area, and again, absolutely no expansion from them. And here's your closer look of the big mess, basically those 3 right there. You can see, I mean, just a massive amount of tumbling from all 3 of those. That's where you got that disruption, keeps on going, and then there you see them, all 3 of those projectiles, not even any kind of attempt at expansion. Same thing from above, but this just gives you a better picture of what that tumbling actually looks like. It's just like a single plane there, as you can see, so it's not going that same large amount on the other direction. And again, there's your projectiles. All right, let's check out these projectiles right quick, y'all. Nothing at all exciting here. Absolutely, completely intact. These two are the 110s. This is the 124. As you can see, I mean, no attempt, not even a slightest attempt at expansion. You can see there, the only difference is the hollow base here on these 110s just to make them lighter. But other than that, they look exactly the same. But let's go ahead and get a few measurements anyway. We'll start with the 125. And that one's at 125.0, no surprise there. These 110s, that one is at 110.2, and then the other one is 109.8, so nothing at all lost, obviously, because we didn't have any kind of expansion, fragmentation, nothing. And then really quickly on the sizes here, the 125, you got a base of 356 with a length of 563. The 110s, you got a base of 357, length of 538, a base of 353, and a length of 537. So there you go, y'all, the Winchester Silvertip 110 and 125 plus P through the 2-inch snub nose. Really disappointed in these 110s. The 125 plus P I didn't have much expectations for, but these 110s I expected them to do well, just like in the previous test. Now I know one of the main questions is going to be, well, is it because of the cold temperature? You can think whatever you want, have your own opinion, but I can tell you that it is not because of the temperature. These gel blocks aren't even out in this cold for any kind of length of time to even get cold. These things are not water-based. I say this over and over again in the comments. It would take the most extreme temps imaginable to compromise these things. The temps would have to be so extreme that I wouldn't be out here. Not only that, but every time a round smacks this gel, they are literally warm to the touch, y'all. There's so much energy transferred, even with these little weak rounds, that it warms the gel blocks up every single time. In my opinion, this is just another case of 38 Special being one of those trouble rounds. Just very inconsistent as far as performance with hollow points. Very hard to get them moving fast, to get them to expand. Well, not hard, I would say, but it's like the manufacturers just don't want to do it for whatever the reason. All right, y'all, that's a wrap for another frustrating 38 Special performance. This round is just one of the trickiest there is to get good performance from a short barrel like this. Now, you lengthen out the barrel long enough, you can get good performance from most anything, but most people, in my opinion, that are going to be rocking 38 Special are going to be carrying it in a snub nose. Now, they might up it to 3 inches, but in my opinion, another inch wouldn't have done anything for this stuff right here. I don't know what's going on with it, if it's just inconsistent, why it didn't perform today when it did the other days. Again, I'll have to look back at the velocities. Now, as far as the cold weather, that's one thing that, you know, it's possible that could affect as far as the powder being temperature sensitive, but as far as the gel, again, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. I'll look back at the velocities. Maybe it was moving a lot faster for whatever reason before, but it would take a whole lot from what I'm seeing in this gel to get these things to do right. Either way, very disappointing, because this 110 Silvertip was one of the few rounds that I would always say, you know, it's done good in tests in the past, because it did. So I don't know, I guess the search is going to continue for another good 38 Special snub nose round. But let me know what y'all think about these things. What do you think about the performance today? Is this something that some of y'all run based on previous tests and previous performances? Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. If you enjoyed the video, take a second as always and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you turn on notifications so you get notified when I upload new stuff. Like I always remind you, check out those affiliate links in the video description. Anything you buy after hitting up those links down there, I get a kickback from them towards the channel, so I really appreciate that. Once again, a huge thanks to all my range gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel the way y'all do. I got a couple more things that I was gonna do out here. I'm probably gonna knock it down to one, because this wind has got me freezing, my hands feeling like ice cubes. But be on the lookout for a lot of good stuff headed your way, and in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see y'all soon.